Hi everyone, this training video will show you on how to navigate in the new AP Central Invoice Approval workflow. To make it simple, we will address the invoice approval system in IAS in this training video. We will get started on how to log in AP Central. If you are using a Windows machine, please use Internet Explorer 11 browser. And on the other hand, if you are using Mac machine, use Safari to access the workflow. Note that the system is not compatible in Mozilla Firefox or Google Chrome. For this example, we will use Internet Explorer 11. Go to AP Central link and key in your Lion Live login credentials. This is the homepage of AP Central, your new workflow approval engine. Your name will be displayed on the top right corner of the page. Right next to it, you should see the drop-down box displaying all the companies that you have access to. Make sure you select the company you would like to work with every time after you log in. Down below your names, you should see the tiny Focus on Content button. When you click on it, the gray menu appearing on the left will be hidden. When you click the same button again, then the menu will be displayed. At the center of the page, AP Central is clickable link underneath Homepage, which will always bring you back to the homepage here. Now moving to the left hand side of the screen, you will see the menu. The menu will be displayed in accordance to the permission granted to you. For the purpose for this training video, I will show you the steps play B, the 4 key players in the inter-invoice approval workflow. As an assigner, how do I assign invoice? As a coder, how do I code an invoice? As an agency approver, how do I approve invoice? As a resources AP approver, how do I approve invoice? Let me discuss the different access level that I'm going to use. Join me here for assigner. TST Anhan 01 for coder. TST Anhan 02 for first approver. TST Anhan 03 for final approver. And Marbelda for AP approver. There are 2 scenarios that I will demonstrate in this training video. First, the invoice without a purchase order and invoice with purchase order. Next, I will walk through the workflow for an invoice that does not have purchase order associated with it. Now, I am signing in as an assigner. First, I will make sure I have selected Resources Malaysia as my working company. And now I will go to My Invoice. Under My Invoice, you should be able to see the list of invoice with status Coder Assignment sitting on the summary view. Each row represents an invoice and there are different functions you could perform. The View Invoice Details, Send Notification, and View Invoice History. In order to assign invoice, there are 2 ways of doing it. You could select one invoice or multiple invoice on this page, then assign to the coder at one go. As you can see, there is a drop-down box here. Or you could click the View Invoice Details icon then assign to the coder for coding. As you can see, this is the invoice details, and scroll it down. Here you can see once I click the forward button, the drop-down box will appear and I am able to select the person I would like to assign the invoice to. Now I will assign this to the coder. And please click Save. After the invoice has been assigned to the coder, the invoice will no longer be shown in the My Invoice view, unless if the assigner and the coder is the same person. If you go to the All Invoices view, the status of the invoice will be changed to coding, and the coder names for the invoice will appear under the responsible person column on the list here. Let me discuss to you the coding rules. For job-related invoice, the below are mandatory: the job number and cost type code. For non-job related invoice, the below are mandatory: chart of account and the chart of account force field. As a coder, I should be receiving notification in my Outlook inbox notifying I got a new invoice to code. Now, I will be assigning in AP Central as a coder. I will go again in Resources Malaysia. Under My Invoice, I should see the list of invoice with status coding with my name on it. Now, I would like to start working on this one. I click View Invoice Details icon. I am now in the coding page where you can see at the top, these are the information captured from ReadSoft. Following fields are editable. You can also attach supporting documents here. There is no limitation on formats and number attachment. You can attach JPEG image file or PDF. Down below, you should see the coding screen sitting side by side with this invoice image. If you would like to have a larger invoice image, you can either click on the Focus on Content button or open up the invoice image on a separate page. To code the first line, go to the line item and click Edit Invoice Line. Then edit the information on the coding screen, then hit Save. Since this invoice is non-job related, we will need to fill in the GL account, and the mandatory field should be in color in red, according to the force field in BCC. The full list of master data should be available in the drop-down box when you point your cursor to each of the fields, or you may type keyword and the system is smart enough to look up the master data information for you. Tax calculation is also automated. The tax amount is automatically populated once the tax code is selected. Please hit save and should be saved successfully in green. After finish coding, hit approve and the invoice will be forwarded to the approver for action. Again, the invoice will no longer displayed in the My Invoice screen. If I were checked to the invoice in all invoice, you will see the status of the invoice will now be changed to approving, as it is pending for the approver for approving the invoice. As an approver, I should be receiving email notification requesting my approval on the invoice. Now I am signing in as an approver. Again, checking if I'm working in the right company, which is Resources Malaysia, and go to my invoice. The invoice should be sitting here with the status approving with my name next to it. Click View Invoice Details. You should see the invoice header information, the image invoice line, and supporting attachment. As an approver, you may also attach other supporting documents if required. Once you finish reviewing the invoice, you may click on the Approve button to approve the invoice, or Reject button if you wish to reject the invoice. You could also forward the invoice to another approver. Click Forward button, then select the approver you would like to forward to the invoice to. To continue the demo, I will be approving this invoice, then hit Approve. This invoice will now be forwarded to the final approver. When you go to all invoices, the status is still approving. Now I am signing in as final approval. When you successfully log in, same process, go to Resources Malaysia, My Invoice, click on the View Invoice Details, you will need to put some remarks and then approve the invoice. The invoice will now be forwarded to AP Approver for handling. Again, the invoice will no longer be shown in My Invoice. When you go to All Invoice, the status will be changed into AP Approving. I will now do the same thing, sign in as the AP Approver to approve the invoice. Go to Resources Malaysia, My Invoice, click on the View Invoice Details. You will need to put some remarks and then approve the invoice. After approving, the invoice will remain under My Invoice, but the status is changed to Approved.